All right, so I've got my plug grounded on the engine. You don't want to be holding this. It's still not firing. No spark. So I've got a no spark condition on that middle, even with this threaded. So now let me do a little tug test here. Yeah, see that? The wire, I don't think is threading properly. It just pulled right out. I can't trim it too much more. It's going to end up being too short, and I'll have to go get... it could be the coil. Each one of these wires has a coil inside that silver box down there for each plug that boosts that spark up and makes it fire. Now, the first thing you'd probably want to check before doing even this boot test would have been for a bad plug, because that's the cheapest part to replace. I was pretty sure my plug was working because you can see it's been firing, but it stopped. So that means I've got some other issue going on. And I guess I'll show what one looks like when it's firing, just for those of you who haven't ever done this sort of test. All right, my plug's grounded on that plate. Let's look at the electrode down here. See the fire? She's firing. So I've got spark on that one, and I've already checked this one. I got spark on that one. No spark on the middle. Okay, I've swapped the boot. I've moved the number one plug that was firing to there to double check. Still no fire. So that tells me that either the igniter isn't firing on that middle cylinder, or the coil is bad, or there's a loose wire in that box. Boot's rethreaded, still no spark. Well, that tells me I got another problem. And it can go from bad to worse. That thing's trying to fire up on one cylinder. So disconnect your battery. The 4 bolts with the little bump next to them are what hold this in, so that you can get this loose. Both battery wires disconnected, and flip this on its side and get you access to the starter and the, well, just mainly the starter wire right here. That nut, so take that loose, and then unplug all your wiring, each one of these plugs, to pull the whole box out, to get it where you can work on it without being down in a hole like this. Make your life and job a lot easier. So let's do that. The electrical box is out. Now I've got to get it apart. It's the 8 bolts that are left. Okay, so I'm noticing some corrosion from salt water in the plug on the offending coil. Little oxidation. Got you a couple spare fuses in here. This just unscrews, but usually you can't do it by hand. You usually have to pair of pliers. There is a big O-ring that seals this watertight. I'm gonna need to clean these contacts up. Supposed bad coil. 0.06, 0.07. The one next to it is reading about the same. 0.07, 0.08 for the white one, and then the black one. So what I'm looking for is for my numbers to be very similar on my continuity. 0.07, 0.08 for the black. So 0.06, 0.07 for the green. So they're all reading pretty much the same. I'm going to guess that it was the corrosion causing this problem. I also pulled this. Try to clean those up a little bit. Overall, this box is in really good shape. For the sake of being thorough, let's note which wires are which. They all have a ground that's going to the same. The black is going to go to ground, and it's going to ground under this screw over here. The green and yellow is your green connector center number 2 cylinder. Okay. the green and white. Which one is that? Is the white, goes to the white plug through that green and white wire to the white coil, which is on the bottom here, which is your shortest wire. So that's your number 3 cylinder. And the green and red wire goes to the black plug. It's gonna go to the longest wire, number 1 cylinder. That's just to reference you if you've got a box like my other one over there that connectors have been cut out of, so you can try to figure out which one of these wires goes where. So hopefully that helps somebody out there that may have had somebody do a hack job on their electrical wiring. All right, let's test this out. Now look what we got just from cleaning. She's firing. So no parts were needed, just some troubleshooting. A lot of times with these older jet skis, that's all you got to do. You're gonna find, especially if your jet ski was used in salt water, just like I did in that. And you see I'm running, I don't even have it all together yet because I didn't want to put it all back together and then find out that I did have to change that coil pack. All it was some corrosion on that wire inside the box that I paid for, that the guy said he had completely gone through. Well, he didn't put anything to protect the terminals from corroding, and it sat up. Man, it's been months since I bought that. So part's good, which I figured it was because the other 2 were firing. But that's just an example of the type of problem you're gonna run into with a jet ski. This thing should run great now. I should have a 50-something mile-an-hour ski. I've got to put it all back together and hit the lake. And then clean it, buff it, get it ready. Shadetreejetski. It's just a process of elimination for any problem that you come into with one of these skis. You go step by step. I've had years of mechanical experience, and so to me it comes very naturally, it comes very easily. I will have to reboot, put me another zip tie on that boot. You can see that's what they do to keep them from slipping off. But that's it, just a process of elimination and you're done. Get your ski running again. Simple fix. It cost me some time, but it didn't cost me any money to do this fix. I didn't even have to use some of my spare parts, so that's a win. Thanks for watching. Shadetreejetski. Hope this video helps somebody out there. See you in the next one.